This is the page you guys read in class yesterday, and you were asked to look at some of the problems that the colonists were facing. A lot of you pointed out this sentence here about your hands blister and bleed from chopping trees. So to me, one of the problems is that those people are not used to hard work. So when you blister your hands, usually has to do with you're doing work you're not used to doing, okay? So that could be a problem. Then it says the colony was almost wiped out in the first few days. 200 Algonquin warriors launched an ambush while everyone was working and unarmed. So that lets me know that there's going to be problems, or there is problems initially, with the Native American tribes in the area, and they're going to have to figure out how to solve that problem. Under attack, again, they were attacked, and then over here, this detail lets us know that they're being watched. So they are moving into a land full of Native American peoples. And so obviously they're going to be watched because they want to know what this small group of people is doing here and why they're chopping down trees and building stuff on their land. So a lot of you mentioned that the armor was useless. Okay, but what's the problem with that? The armor is useless, and the problem is that it's not going to offer you protection because you can't really wear it there and it doesn't work for that environment. So that's going to be a problem. So the real problem is that the stuff that you're used to using to protect yourself isn't going to work in Virginia. You have to watch out for Spanish invasion, and you can figure that down here. So the Spanish are further to the south, and you have to watch out for them. People are dying from sickness. Okay, colonists become sick from yellow fever. That detail's right here. And then you have another detail. The leaders fight and accuse each other of planning rebellions within the colony. Okay, one of them is tried, found guilty, and shot. So there are problems with Jamestown besides being thousands of miles away trying to build a settlement in new land. A lot of the problems in Jamestown come from the people living there. When your leaders are fighting, it's hard to work together and get anything done. You pick a spot near brackish water and you don't dig good wells, then you're going to get sick. So there's issues with what's going on here. A lot of people who go to the Jamestown are looking to make money quick, and they're not necessarily planning on staying a long time. A lot of the gentlemen aren't planning on staying a long time. They want to make money quick and then get home to their nice fancy houses or buy their own nice fancy house instead of living in their family house. So a lot of people are just planning on looking for gold and taking off. But that's not going to work. They've got to do stuff to survive. The problem with Jamestown, too, is not are they not only really prepared to survive, they're not planning food and doing things that they should, and they figure they're going to get it most from the natives in trade. And the natives, as we learned the other day, don't have a lot of extra to trade with them. And then things go bad and they start fighting. So you can't get food from your neighbors if you're fighting with them. A man who came to the colony by the name of Captain John Smith ends up becoming in charge. And one of the things that Captain John Smith does is, even though he personally does not really care for or like the Native Americans, he is able to develop a kind of tenuous relationship with them and get some trade going. And so things are kind of peaceful for a little while he's there. The other thing he does is right here. He basically makes even the laziest men work. So the gentlemen, people who are used to sitting around doing nothing or who aren't willing to build houses or plant, he says, nope, that's not going to work. You guys are going to have to do something. And he comes up with a law that says those who will not work will not eat. So basically, if you're not going to help the colony, then we're not going to give you anything. And so he kind of goes on puts out some hard rules for people to help them survive. And he does some other things too. And Jamestown has a series of disasters. There's fire, there's problem with the rats, you don't have a lot of food, there's all sorts of things going on. And I'll let you pause this recording for a minute if you want to go ahead and read the page and see what's happening in Jamestown. You can go ahead and pause it and then unpause when you're done. The thing is even with Captain John Smith taking over, sickness is a big problem for the settlers in Virginia. Some of it because they don't take very good care of themselves or plant food or have good water to drink, and some of it just because the climate and the location and the time of year that they're there makes them very sick. It's something they're not used to. Captain John Smith, even though he does his best effort to try to get everybody to pitch in together and make this colony more successful, he gets injured, and he gets injured in a gunpowder explosion, and he ends up going and sailing back to England on a ship to receive medical treatment. And unfortunately, after he leaves, things get pretty bad for the colony.